Hello and welcome to the Dad Strength Podcast. I am your host, Richie Leahy. All right, today we're getting almost done with these milestones are for early development. We are on year 3. With the third year, we are going to go ahead and pick up where we left off. Same categories as before. Social and emotional, language and communication, cognitive, and the last, movement and physical development. So, with social and emotional, your child is going to continue copying off friends and adults. So go ahead and continue to set those good examples. You want your child to have positive role models. This is where you might want to say like, you see other children, you might not want your child to hang out with them because they're going to pick up on bad behaviors. So if you do see that, try to break that down. It's going to be hard. You're going to be interfering with your child's life right off the bat, and that's probably not a good thing. But they're going to have to learn for themselves, but you want them to set good examples. So you're going to have to be the positive role model in their life. So make sure that you're doing that because they are going to copy off adults and other friends. They are also going to show affection to their friends. And I know this is a young age. They're 3. You always hear about it like kids like hugging. They might start getting ready for like preschool. They're going to go ahead and try to talk to other friends. They'll start to build bonds. They will want to go ahead and hang out with other children. And that's where they're going to go ahead and start to learn some of their main behaviors. So make sure you're encouraging good behavior. Try to have them hang out with good friends, good ones that you know that they can be positive influences on your child. And when they're playing with other kids, they're going to start to take turns. So make them practice taking turns, sharing, going in order. You can do that with some games at your own house. Maybe start to teach them. I don't know if checkers might be a little too hard at this age, but certain games like that, maybe tic-tac-toe, that's pretty simple. They can go ahead, and then that way they're learning how to take turns. Another good one might be Connect 4, because that's a simple one where they're actually physically putting an object inside a thing, and they can learn how to take turns appropriately. So go ahead, start to do that at your house. Try to encourage them to take turns, and that's something that they'll need to build up, because if they don't do that now, you're going to have trouble with them sharing in other things in the future. Now, they should also start to get a little emotional, so they'll start to show concern. So if another friend cries, up to this point, they might have laughed, they might have like poked them or did something. Now they should start to show concern. They might come over, give them hugs, make sure they're okay, and they'll genuinely be concerned because that's the type of emotional bond that they are growing at this age. Next, they're going to understand their idea of what's theirs. So they're going to have certain toys. They might not want other people to play with it. And that's where whenever you're talking about taking turns, you want them to share. You want them to take turns because you want an environment where they're able to control their emotional behaviors. You don't want them taking other kids' toys, saying that that's mine. So work around the house with them. Have some of their toys. Play with them. Play with them in an environment so that they know that they can play in a manner that makes them happy with others, even if they share the objects, even if they know that they're already theirs. So this is a very important age for that. They're also going to go ahead and build on that. They're going to show a wide range of emotions. You might see them get hysterical. You might see them get angry. They might start yelling. They might get sad. And that's going to be probably a new one because before they would cry up to a point, but now they might be like bummed out a little bit. You can see it on their face. They might not want to talk. They might just sit around a little bit. So you're going to want to start to build that parent-child relationship. Let them know that they can talk to you about anything because you want that bond to start now. Because if they don't feel that connection, they're not going to want to talk to you whenever they get older. So don't neglect them now. Build the bond. Let them know emotionally that you can connect with them. And really look for it because you don't want that to get behind where they're not picking up on the caring side of the parent. So try to be caring and try to understand where they're coming from. And this is because the other stage here is they're going to separate easily from mom and dad. So if you go to a friend's house, they're just going to leave. They're going to go to school. They're going to go to school. They're going to lose that sort of attachment. So you want them to know that as a parent, you still care. And they're going to go ahead and build a routine. So they may get upset with this if they go to school every day and something happens where you want them to go to a park. They're going to know the routine. They're going to keep it straightforward. What I would suggest when they start to go to school, find out the routine from a teacher, talk to them, get the routine, replicate it at home on the weekends. Sure, there might be other things. There might be church or worship on the weekends, but keep that in the routine. Let them know. Get a calendar with them. Have them have their own schedule. Build it out with them. If they have their own book that has their own calendar in it, good, because that gives them a sense of attachment. They know that it's theirs. Teach them, hey, it could be pictures at this point. Use stickers. Show them like, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is what we're going to do. It will help calm them. That's a pretty big thing, and you don't want them to get upset with changes in the routine at this age. So that's very, very important. Try to get them built into a routine. Copy what they do at school at home. It's great to help build learning skills. Even though children might need some downtime, try to keep them in that same routine. If they do 40-minute blocks, do 40-minute blocks at home. Maybe instead of just doing math problems, you go outside and play some catch with them and do math problems. Shoot them some like, hey, what's 2 plus 2? Whatever. They're still young at this age, but that gives you an idea. You might be able to do something a little bit more physical on the weekends. Play with them, get them outside of the house, and then what they would do at preschool, but try to model that same schedule at home. And with this, they'll start to dress and undress themselves. So this is something that you can go ahead and encourage. It might be bad at first. They're picking out all their clothes. They look bad as a parent. You may feel self-conscious, but they want that choice in their life. They'll feel ownership of it, and it will make them feel good. Next, language and communication. They're going to continue following 2 or 3 step instructions. So that's good. Look for that. They're going to be able to name familiar objects that they know. So this is where you want to try to take them to different places. Take them to a farm. Let them see farm animals up close. Take them to a zoo. Let them see other animals there. Take them to a garden. Let them see different types of flowers. Try to give them other experiences. Experiences are the best way for children to learn. Who knows, in the future, you might be able to do some virtual experiments. So take them, hey, put on the virtual headset or whatever and take them to a land that they've never seen. I don't know how good that it would be for children's eyes, but that could be an option in the future. Next, they're going to understand words like in, on, and under, directional words. So they're going to know like, hey, can you go underneath the swing, go inside that chair? They're going to know what you're talking about. So they'll start to learn the directions. And they should be able to say their first name and their age and their gender, because they'll need to know those things for school. You can also try to teach them a little bit about your phone. So maybe your phone number and your address, but that might be a little bit, it depends on the development of your child. But they should be able to know who they are and describe themselves. And they should also be able to name their friends, even if the friends aren't in the room. So before they might have been able to point at them and say like, hey, that's so-and-so. Now they should be able to tell you who their friends are. Like, hey, who do you play with at school or daycare? They can tell you. They can also say words like I, me, we, you. So words that describe people. Like, hey, that's me right there in the mirror or whatever. And they should be able to talk well enough for strangers to understand them. So if they go to school or a daycare or preschool, wherever, they should be able to communicate in a way that other adults, other children can understand what they're saying. And they should be able to carry on a conversation like 1 or 2 sentences, maybe 2 or 3. It depends on the child, so that if they get asked to do something, they can tell the other adult what they're doing. And this is important whenever they go to school. The next category, cognitive. Can they work toys with buttons, levers, and moving parts? Are they able to do mechanical movements? So one of those toys that you've seen have like the rails. It's like a metal rod, and then they have like the little toys that like kind of trace around them. It's kind of like a maze. They should be able to do that. They should be able to do like levers. If you have certain science experiments, you can probably go to one of those stores and get some science experiments for kids. Let them do that. Let them try to build things, because this is something that they'll learn how to do, and they're going to start to learn how objects work mechanically inside of other objects. So try to encourage that. Try to have those around the house so they can get those to work. They should be able to make believe with animals, dolls, and people as well. So you might want to build up some of those. Next, they can have puzzles with a couple pieces, maybe 3 to 4. You can have puzzles with like sounds and animals before, like the wooden ones where you pick it up. Now they can actually do like a real puzzle, sort of. But you can start working on that skill with them at a younger age and build that up. Next, they understand a little bit of numbers. So like they understand, like if you give them food, they should know like 1 or 2. You can say like 2 carrots only. They can go ahead and pick those up. Next is going to be copying different shapes. So if you see a pattern here, they're going ahead and they are getting numbers, getting some shapes, and they should also get some colors. They're going to go ahead and be able to pick up small tidbits of numbers and like real world situation stuff. So they're going to know objects a little bit. They're going to know a little bit of colors, a little bit of shapes. And these are all things that you'll find on most early childhood toys. So try to find toys that have all these so that they can learn them in a real environment. Next, they're going to be able to turn book pages. If they haven't already, that might be something that they learned a while ago. Turning pages 1 or 2 at a time. Building even higher block towers. Before we said like 3 or 4 layers. Now they can do full 6-piece towers. And with that, they can also do some extra fine motor stuff like screwing and unscrewing lids. So try to have a lot of toys that are actually physical builders for them at the house. You don't just want junk toys. So start to phase out some of the toys where they like had to push to learn how to walk, and get more toys that they can actually play with and learn fine motor skills. And the last category, movement and physical development. Your child should be able to climb well, climb up on objects, move around. They should be able to run pretty easily, run back and forth, doing different object things, running, walking, climbing, all things we talked about last time. They can go ahead and start to begin to pedal. So like if you have like a small 3-wheel bike, some type of bike, they should be able to pedal to get movements, sort of like the augmented run is what pedaling is. So they should be able to build on that. But everything we talked about last time, running, doing obstacle courses, keep building on that. Try to give your child some resistance. Make sure that like if they want to wrestle with you, you can go ahead and build that physical strength. Get used to them picking up heavy objects a little bit. Don't go too heavy to hurt them, but they should be able to move toys themselves. They should be able to do some physical things like throwing, kicking balls. Try to encourage them to go out and do those things. Get their physical development down. Next, they should be able to walk up and down stairs. This is the last one for this category, these milestones. But they should be able to do it on their own. And it's pretty good measurement for now. They should pretty much be where they're going to be physically. So help them build that up. Build that strength for them, because it's very important at this age. So that's the 3 years milestones. We have 2 left based on the CDC. It goes up to year 5. So if you have any questions, let me know. We're going to be finishing these up. And then we're going to go ahead and have a little bit of changes kicking in, hopefully for the better. So I hope you enjoy the podcast. We'll still be bringing you dad and parenting tips. So thank you for listening. You have been listening to Dad Strength with Richie Leahy.